Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Rob Smith for Combat Sports UK, and I'm joined with Cage Warriors fighter Adam Cullen. Adam, how are we, mate?
All good, all good. Glad to be on.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming on. And so we'll jump straight into it. You've got a very big fight booked against Tobias Harila at Cage Warriors 180. Kind of talk to me about that fight. What do you know about your opponent?
Yeah, man, it's a fucking big one, and I'm super excited. I've watched Tobias for a long time. I think everyone who's familiar with Cage Warriors is familiar with him. Comes to bang, comes to scrap. He's got knockout power. He's entertaining. I'm a bit of a fan of Tobias myself. I can't really lie. But when I got offered the fight, it was just like, yeah, fucking too right. Like, I'm here for big fights, you know what I mean? I'm here to make a statement, and yeah, I'm so excited to get in there. I just know it's gonna be a war, and we're gonna be throwing bombs at each other. Like, I'm known for finishing fights. He's known for finishing fights. There's only really one way it's gonna go, and I can't wait.
So when you get a matchup like that, like I said, it's an exciting fight, exciting matchup with Tobias. Do you kind of get more like up for it? Say, like, for example, you got matched up against a wrestler who you think is just going to try and hold you against the cage. Do you get more like excited knowing that you're going to be fighting a striker like yourself who's exciting?
Yeah, man. No, I always just like challenges. You know what I mean? Like, there's not like any fight camps that I take more seriously or less seriously, or I'm excited or not. I just love fighting. So whoever they give me is exciting. Yeah, I suppose maybe a little bit. Then yeah, maybe a little bit. You just know like what type of fight you're gonna get. I'm more excited for the people to watch. Do you know what I mean? Like the fans that are gonna come, and people that are gonna buy tickets, and people that are gonna watch on UFC Fight Pass. They're in for a treat, because me and Tobias only know one way to fight, and that's fucking foot to the floor, innit?
And so when you get the call to fight Tobias and it was announced, the amount of like positivity I saw on my social media, so many people are excited for this fight. I even saw Cage Warriors post something on that, I believe it was on the Twitter or Instagram, and they're saying this could have potential title implications. Have you thought about what the ramifications could be if you win this fight?
No, I've not. No, to be honest, like the ramifications are of this fight that, like, if I'm not on, I'm gonna get knocked out, and same thing for him. So that's the only thing I can think about right now. About being switched on and about concentrating on him. Looking past Tobias is like a seriously stupid thing to do, because we all know how dangerous he is. So I've not thought about that. I'm just thinking one fight at a time. A big name on my record, a big finish against Tobias, and an exciting fight for the fans. That's all I'm worried about right now.
I'm always curious, from a fan's perspective, when you get the call that you've got a fight booked, do you make any like big changes? Like, I know you train year round, but do you make any like, big change? Think, oh, okay, now camp's starting, or is it kind of just continuing what you're doing with training, or is it kind of amped up a little bit more?
It does. It's just like the intensity goes up. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we train every day. We're looking to improve every day. When you've got a fight booked, like it's turned on. The intensity, obviously, the diet's locked in. The extra work gets put in, like the extra conditioning, and extra focus on certain things you're going to do, and more intensity. But apart from that, it's pretty much the same thing, like the same structure all year round. Just the intensity and the seriousness level goes up. Do you know what I mean? There's less missed sessions, less going out to eat and all that shit. Do you know what I mean? It's all the same.
When I interviewed Nathan about, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, I asked him this question. I'm going to ask you the same one. Obviously, because you're coming from a great gym at Next Gen, you guys have been killing it for years now. You've got so many sharks in that tank. Who pushes you the most in training?
It have to be Paddy. Obviously, me and Paddy are the same weight class. We've trained together, sparred together for years and years, and he's one of a kind. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's always pushing you because he's just so fucking good. So I'd have to say Paddy, and it's purely just because he's just like so talented that, like, if you're not on, you're going to end up in a bad position. Sometimes you feel like you're in a good position with Paddy, and the next thing is on your back. Sometimes you think, oh, fucking, I'm doing well here, like I'm having a good go, and then he's on your fucking neck, and you're just like, what, lads, where did that even come from? So yeah, definitely Paddy. Still yet to fight or spar anyone even close to him, to be fair.
And how inspiring is it to you to see how far he's come? He's now a global superstar. I think everyone and like every fight fan in the world knows who Paddy the Baddy is. So how
Yeah,
inspiring is that to see his journey? How much does that inspire you?
it's sick, just to see someone from our gym making waves like he is, and obviously he's on the mat, sharing the mat with us every single day. So you get to see the sort of pathway that the sport can take, and like that the highs that like come with the sport if you make it. Like it's easy to look at Paddy and go, oh yeah, he's got this and he's got that, and he's flying in the UFC and everyone knows who he is. Like he took the long road to get there. So it's like almost comforting at the same time to see like that and be like, Paddy was 16 wins and 3 losses when he got signed to the UFC. Like you look at shit like that and you're like, yeah, like it'll come, but you've got to cut your teeth, you've got to pay your dues, you know what I mean, and put your time in. So it's inspiring, but it's also comforting at the same time, thinking like you can make it. Do you know what I mean? As long as you put the work in, you're willing to put the hours in. That's what you can have. So it's good to have in there.
And when you were over in Vegas with Nathan, did you kind of get did you kind of get the feelings of being in the UFC training at the PI and just having that whole experience in America? It kind of give you a taste of what's potentially to come in the future.
Yeah, it was sick. Yeah, definitely. It was one of them like bit more motivating where you see like this is the end result. This is what we all want to do, and like it's so in touching distance for guys like me. Like realistically, like I'm because the way I fight, I'm probably a few fights off. Big wins like Tobias will just put me closer, and you see that, and you're like, I belong in the UFC, and I will get there. And yeah, it's just like an extra bit of motivation. Obviously, the motivation's never changed, but it's all like reachable now. Where like Nathan was in the same position as me, got an opportunity and grasped it. It's just good to see that, to think that like just stay the course. The opportunity will come, and I will get there.
And kind of to explain me, what were your emotions like when Nathan won his fight? Because it was a long, hard-fought road to get to that moment. Obviously, he had his setbacks, injuries, illness. So, kind of explain when you got the win. What were your emotions like in that corner?
Lad, insane. The maddest thing ever. I don't know if you watch the video that the UFC put on, you can just hear one person screaming on like the UFC's Instagram page, and that's me. I just went absolutely fucking berserk. I mean, me and Nathan have trained together since we were 15. We trained together before we were at Next Gen. Like I met, like we've been we've been best mates for a long, long time. So I mean, up for like the past 10 years, we've like drove to training together every day and chilled out together after training and gone to train in different places and been to each other's fights, cornered each other. It's like we've literally been on the road together for a long, long time, or 11 years now. And to see that, it was just like the best day of my life. To be fair, better than any of my fights. That watching him do that, like he'll tell you himself, like I was a fucking like an emotional mess in the back afterwards, watching him get interviewed and that, lad. It was just so good. Like I was so happy for him, and like he fucking deserves it. Like so, it was literally the best experience ever watching that, and I fucking couldn't contain myself and screamed like a little fucking girl when he won.
But it seems like in next gen, you're all like a family. You seem like a proper tight knit team, which I think that's the best environment to surround yourself in this sport because it's the most lonely sport in the world when you're in the cage. But if you surround yourself with a good team outside of it, I think you're destined for success.
Absolutely.
And we'll kind of talk back to your fight. Obviously, you spoke about the fans' favorite matchup. I've looked at your records, all finishes, mate. So, what about your fighting style? Do you hunt for the finish, or is it just you can't just simply just get them?
I'm just aggressive. Do you know what I mean? I always think like aggression's key. Like aggression's what the judges score. Aggression's what breaks people, and aggression's what gets you finishes. Um, I do look for finishes at the same time, because how many UFC fights have you seen where someone's banging someone for 14 minutes and 30 seconds of the fight and then gets stopped in the last 30 seconds? Like the only way to guarantee you've on all other fights as well. I feel like my not my last fight, the one before, I feel like I won that fight. It was a close split decision. Um, Judges didn't really like it. Was a, do you know what I mean? It was one of them. It could have gone either way. I still feel like I should have won that. But if I finished him, there's no question. So the most important thing is always finishing people. I find with the mixed martial arts, it yeah, that it's just so important, and it's something I always go for, because what people want to see is, well, no one wants to see people shagging people's legs and um holding people down for 15 minutes. Do they want to see action? and they want to see finishes, and it all goes hand in hand. The judges want to see it, the fans want to see it, and the only way to guarantee you can win a fight is putting someone to bed. So that's always what I'm looking for.
Well, I think I think in the sport, people are coming to watch the big knockouts and the unbelievable submissions. It is what the fans want to see. And like you said, like it's for example in the UFC, there's so many people in the UFC who have made a career just of being exciting alone. They might not exactly be, title material, but they've made a career just of being exciting. The fans love them for that. And so I think being a finisher, and I think it's only going to increase your guys' popularity because I feel like next gen these are all finishers in some other way. You got Shem who's like a grappler, Paddy grappler, and like you kind of you all do everything. And I think is it just like the nature of next gen to get finishes? It seems like that way.
It's planned, do you know what I mean? It's not like no coincidence. Like the coaching is directed that way. The systems put together by Rimmer, Ellis, and Ventry is purely to finish fights because, again, they realized a long time ago the only way to guarantee that you've won that fight is to stop someone. And if you don't stop them, but you've done 15 minutes of trying to stop them, that tends to be what the judges will go, he's the winner. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's all planned and we train for that. Do you know what I mean? We train to put damage on people. We train to show the judges that we're trying to finish the fight. And we train to finish the fights every single day. That's our systems.
And I want to talk back to when you mentioned about you could have a fight for about 40 minutes and 30 seconds and get a loss. I think a good example of that is, I'm not sure if you remember back at UFC London, I think it was, I don't know what year it was, when Paul Craig fought Ankalaev.
Yeah.
Ankalaev was smashing him for about a half 1 second. That's crazy, isn't it? It's like, it's moments like that that make this sport. Obviously, look at the big Holloway moment at UFC 300. It's the viral big moments like that that make this sport. You get some champions who, might not exactly have the most exciting style and people don't necessarily remember them as much as people like, I don't know, for example, like Cowboy Cerrone, who was exciting, never won the belt, but he was known for being exciting.
We're in the age of TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever the fuck they're called. People's attention span's so small. Like, if the UFC is trying to generate interest and generate views, what they're gonna post like, a video of someone's fucking 9 seconds of someone's decision, where all he did was like sit in someone's garden doing fuck all. They want to post spinning wheel kick knockouts, fucking flying knees, someone going to sleep and fucking not waking up, don't they? They want to see action and excitement because that's why Power Slap does so well. Because you switch Power Slap on and someone's getting snoozed. Like, it's what people want to see. We live in that world, don't we now, where like action sells. So the UFC have just molded into that, and the sport's molded into that, and you can see by the people who were the most famous people in the sport at the minute. Your Pereiras, your Sean O'Malley's, they make viral moments, and that just goes to show us what people want to see.
And I've got a bit of a blind rank here. I'm not sure if you know how these work. 1 to 5, just kind of have to guess where you put them. They're all 5 current active UFC lightweights.
I want a blind rank them. I don't know what the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Right, first we've got Michael Chandler.
Number 4.
Conor McGregor.
Number 5.
Islam Makhachev.
Number 1.
Paddy Pimblett.
Number 2.
And then Charles Oliveira.
Number 3. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid
list.
Anyway.
That's what I said anyway. I mean, McGregor, you can't really call him an active lightweight, can you? He doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Fight. Chandler's not really fought, has he? And he's coming off losses. Charlie's like, he's fucking exciting, isn't he? And fucking really good to watch. But I'm a massive Charles Oliveira fan. I have been since he was a featherweight. But I think that's a good fight for Paddy. Those who know. And like, again, people will probably go, what the fuck are you talking about? Like that Bobby thing and all that. But Charles Oliveira, I reckon that's a good fight for Paddy. So yeah, I love that. And he's getting older, and he's had a few injuries, getting stopped here and there. Well, didn't get stopped, did he? Oh, he got stopped by Islam, didn't he? But lost his last one to Arman. Yeah, that could be a good fight for Paddy. I like that. And obviously Islam at the minute, you can't really say he's not, can you? Because look at his body of work. He's fucking killed everyone, hasn't he? He's the man at the minute.
You know what? I think because I was at UFC 304 working at the event, like backstage and stuff, and I think but when Paddy won, he shut a lot of people up, mate. all fight week, I was speaking to some of the media members. They were saying, "Oh, I fancy King Green in this one." I'm not going to call him King Green, Bobby Green. Like people say, "Oh, I fancy Bobby in this one." I was thinking, like, you know what, Paddy's good, man. Like I was saying, like, he's very good, and I think he shut a lot of people up. He destroyed Bobby. Like it
But
wasn't
the
even
thing is,
close.
with Paddy, I say it all the time, yeah. You could watch him spar, fight, whatever, and you could probably watch him and go, you know what, he looks shit. Because sometimes he's so weird, isn't he? Sometimes he does look mad. Sometimes you spar him and you're like, mad, you're mad, you. But lad, when you feel him, it's different, you know. It's like the only way the catch like always land on the feet. You could throw Paddy through the fucking air, suplex him, whatever you want to do, call it, and he'll land on his feet. You can fucking put your hooks in on his back, locked in rear naked choke, and something mad will happen, and the next thing he's on your back with a body triangle. Like he is not like I've not sparred, trained with, rolled with anyone like him. It's nuts. So like, yeah, I'd like to see what he's like against a guy like Charles Oliveira, but you know what people will say? People will be like, "Oh, you can't beat him and can't do this and can't do that." But wait till he grabs you, mate. It's fucking different gravy.
Do you reckon that fight could be next for Paddy? Because I know that Moicano match has been talked about a lot, but obviously he's got that injury now, so he could be out for a while. Do you think the Oliveira fight could be next?
It could well be. You never know. Do you know what I mean? Paddy's got the pull, hasn't he? He's got the star power. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, Paddy's ranked 15 and all this and all that," but like Paddy brings eyes, doesn't he? And the UFC
100%.
are in the business of in the business of selling fights, aren't they? And like, how big would that be? Like, I'm obviously booked against Chandler right now, though, isn't he? Maybe if he got beat by Chandler, because if he beats Chandler, I think he's fighting for the title, isn't he? If he got
Most
beat by
likely,
Chandler, though,
you assume so, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it could definitely. I'd like to see Paddy Moicano still. Still like
Yeah,
to
I
see
think
that.
that'd be such a fun build. But I think I know I mentioned it. I'd love to see that in the Ultimate Fighter. Them two coaches would be hilarious. I mean,
That'd be cool. That one, yeah.
it'd be like because I think the Ultimate Fighter's kind of dipped off in the past few years. I think that'd really bring eyes back to it. Having two people like that who are just nuts in the best way.
Yeah, I think the Ultimate Fighter like it used to do well, didn't it? When like you had nutcases on there and like people drinking and fighting in the house and all that, and like all the coaches hated each other, one or the other. But the problem is nowadays, like everyone's a good athlete, aren't they? So people aren't drinking. Like you're
Yeah.
taking guys like me who's like take it seriously, put us in a house. Like if you follow me around with a camera all day in camp, you get no footage because I fucking train. I go home, I eat, I sleep, and I go back to training again. Like there's no excitement. So, but with them two, you get a good bit of action from the coaches, wouldn't you? They'd be fucking going back and forth and terrorizing each other, and that'll be yeah, that maybe bring some bit of eyes back to tough, wouldn't it?
And I want to ask, what is your all-time like dream matchup for yourself?
What in terms of like who would like to fight or who's like the best fight for me?
I would say all time it could be any opponent, like any lightweight ever, who you wish you could fight against. They could be retired, they could still be active.
I think my favourite up and when I was first getting into sport was probably Cerrone. He was my
Mhm.
like one of my first favourite lightweights. Um, obviously Tony Fergo was as well for a long time, but I'd probably say Cerrone, proper legend, isn't he? Like two finishes, what that'd be like. Me versus Cerrone, it'd be a big fucking be a war, wouldn't it? It'd be blood. Like me versus Tobias, but it's only going to be his blood this time.
And my final question is, can you give us an early prediction for the fight against Tobias?
Me and Tobias are going to go to war, and I'm going to knock him out in the first round.
Right, love it. I love it, mate. I love it. Oh, well, thank you, anyway, Adam. I thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I know we had a bit of issues getting this one set up. It took a while, but we got there, and I've enjoyed this one. I really appreciate it, mate.
No, I have as well. Thanks for having me on, and yeah, anyone watching, make sure you buy a ticket or watch me on UFC Fight Pass on the 15th of November. I'm fighting Liam Gittins is defending his title, and I'm going to go to war with Tobias Harila, and I'm going to knock him out cold.
I love it, mate. I love it. Right. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. I appreciate it.
Thanks very much.